In this video, we're going to move into the area of financial math by talking about simple interest accounts. So these are the most basic type of accounts. They're using simple interest, which I'm going to tell you what that is. Just a note before we begin, the interest rate will often be given as a percentage, okay, but we're going to use it as a decimal when we use it in the formulas. So just be aware of that. You always want to convert from the percentage to the decimal. Okay, so some terminology. P, capital P, is what we call the principal. And the principal is the amount you deposit. So P is the principal when you deposit capital P dollars initially into an account. Okay, or you could maybe borrow. If you're talking about a loan, you might borrow P dollars, and then you would still refer to P as the principal. So it's the sort of the initial amount that is either deposited or taken. The fee for borrowing, or the amount added to your deposit, is called the interest. Okay, and it's usually computed as a percentage called the interest rate. So if you have an account that is a simple interest account, it means that interest is only ever applied to the principal. So in other words, you never get interest on interest. So once you put interest on the first time, your amount is bigger, but in a simple interest account, you'll only ever get the interest that's added on to your principal amount. Okay, so if you invest P dollars into a simple interest account with interest rate R, okay, so this is R percent for T years, but we want to write it as a decimal. The interest added to your investment is going to be, so we call it capital I. Okay, so this is the interest amount. And the way you're going to compute it is you're going to add P times R. Okay, so that is the interest that's added. So it's R percent of P dollars. And you're going to do that for each year. So then we're going to times by T years. So we have I is equal to P times R times T. So you can determine the amount in your account by using the following formula. And this A is what we usually use when we're talking about a future value. Okay, so it's the amount in your account after T years. So if you invest P dollars in a simple interest account with interest rate R, for T years, the amount in your account is going to be your principal plus your interest. Okay, which is your principal plus PRT, P times R times T, which is what the interest is. And normally we write that, we factor out the P, so it's going to be P times 1 plus RT. Okay, so that's normally the formula we use. So that is your amount in your account after T years. So let's just do a couple of examples using this. So suppose I deposit $1,000 in my account that pays 8% simple interest, and I leave it for 5 years. How much money do I have? So the first thing that I like to do is write what I know. Okay, so what was given. Let's do this in green. Okay, so I might need P, R, T, and A. Those are sort of the variables that are going on here. So I'm depositing P dollars. So P is going to be 1,000. Okay, my interest rate is 8%. So written as a decimal, my R is going to be 0.08. Okay, it's simple interest, so that tells me which formula to use, which we only have one really so far. I'm leaving it for 5 years, So that means that my T is 5, and I want to know how much money is in my account. So I want my future value. So this is the thing that I don't know here. Okay, so, but I do have a formula to compute A. So we know that for simple interest, A is P times 1 plus RT, where T is in years, by the way. So this is going to be 1,000 times 1 plus 0.08 times 5. Okay, so if you compute that, you're going to get $1,400 even, actually. Okay, so that's your value that you have. That's how much you have in your account after 5 years. Okay, so you could write that. After 5 years, I will have $1,400. Okay, now it also wants to know how much of this is interest. Well, there's a couple of different ways you could compute this. So you could just say, okay, I deposited $1,000 and now I have $1,400, so I have to have $400 in interest. So for the interest, the I, you could say that it's A minus the principal, because I didn't put any other money in. So that's going to be 1,400 minus 1,000, or 400. Okay, or you could use the formula. Okay, so I is P times R times T. So that's 1,000 times 0.08 times 5. And if you compute that, you should also get $400. So we made $400 in interest. Maybe I should just check that. Yeah, okay, good. Let's do one more example. So suppose I take out a loan of $100 and I have 12% simple interest. How much interest will have accumulated after 9 months? So here maybe I should do this in green again. Okay, so my principal is the amount I borrow. Okay, that's $100 here. They tell me that my interest rate is 12%. So as a decimal, that's 0.12. And T is 9 months. Okay, so what does that mean? T is supposed to be in years. Okay, so that means that T is actually 9 over 12, which is actually 3 over 4 of a year. Okay, so if it's been in there 9 months, that's only 3/4 of a year. And we don't need A, we're looking for I. Okay, so the interest is going to be P times R times T. So that's going to be 100 times 0.12 times 3/4. And if you compute that, you're going to get $9. Okay, so then if we wanted to know how much we owe, okay, so after 9 months, whoever has the loan, let's say we, okay, so we owe, so we took out $100 and now there's $9 in interest, so we're going to owe $109 on our loan.